Hey everybody, welcome to another bi-weekly video update. This time we'll be talking about our Econo-Political System. First we have Jay, who's going to talk about the kind of economy we're going to build and how that's going to work. Then Jess, she's going to be answering your questions about how to join a faction and what it means for yourself and the rest of the world. And finally me, and I'm going to be talking about weapon progression. So here we go.
So what we're going to do is build an economy where the towns are the economic actors. The towns themselves are going to generate and refine resources to produce other materials and trade between themselves and their neighbors. A town has a set of needs and wants generated by its simulated population, and the town will try to trade to satisfy those needs and wants. Now, when it's doing this trading and producing the conflict that naturally arises from said trading and limited resources, it will generate missions for the player to undertake. So let's say one town needs to trade grain to another town. The town will offer you the mission, offer to pay you a certain amount to take that grain from town A to town B, and if you complete this mission, you'll have gained reputation with that town.
So when you start out in the world, you're basically unaligned. You're completely neutral. You can do jobs for anyone who's hiring, basically. Do a cargo mission here, protect a town there, and as you accept these missions and complete them, you'll be earning reputation with those towns. And for towns that are faction aligned, you'll also be gaining reputation with that faction. And when you've done enough work for one particular faction, then you might get an invitation. Now you are eligible to join this faction and kind of reap the benefits of membership, which would include things like being able to identify yourself with that faction, wear the costumes, fly their flags, even exclusive ships and weapons, and do more missions for that faction, more in-depth missions. You can even start climbing up the ranks and actually have an effect on what the faction does in the world, influence them by casting votes. Say if you want to attack, this town, or open up this trade route, by gaining faction membership and working your way up, you can actually start to control what the faction does in the world.
Yeah, weapon progression is a difficult question for us to answer for a couple of reasons. So let's say I have Gatling gun level 1. I play a couple hours and I get Gatling gun level 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. This is what we call a linear progression system. Everything that you get later is always better than what you had before, what you started off with. And we don't like that for a lot of reasons. The first being that it's just linear, it's kind of boring. You know where your guns are going to go, they're just going to get better, and again, you never want to end up using your level 1 stuff again. You just, sell that back to the store, you throw it away. And that's not fun. We always want a sense of balance in the game. And what we want to do is go for weapon specialization and really figure out and offer a lot of different options to cater to your playstyle when you're driving your airship. And we actually offer this in skirmish mode already. So if you take a look at the weapons that we have, you can see how this may work. A lot of the guns have different damage types, the range, their rate of fire, and etc. So you could take a back seat, do long-range support, or you want to be right up in the action, squid, flamethrowers, go for some close-range harass. So these are the kinds of things that we want. So in order to explore this in adventure mode, you'll start out with your basic set of equipment. You'll be able to specialize a little bit, maybe very similar to skirmish mode, but we think factions could be the real answer here. So if you gain enough reputation with a faction, maybe they'll unlock some really cool gear for you. Maybe they'll give you that special flamethrower that's not just flames, but maybe it's like Greek fire. The flames start spreading. Maybe they're shooting fireballs. I don't know. These are all different ideas that I'm just making up right now. But once you see a faction, once you're fighting against them, you'll notice that they'll have their own special ships, their own special gear, and that just adds one more data point to your decision-making process into what faction you want to join and how you can express yourself further by looking into the greater faction systems that we're going to be building into this game.